Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of the most horrifying sci-fi franchise, the Alien series. We will go through the story chronologically and share some of the Easter eggs in the movies. I remember how it all began. Humanity's thirst for answers took us deep into the stars. In 2093, the crew of the Prometheus set out on a bold mission, following ancient star maps that hinted at our creators, the engineers. On a remote moon called LV-223, they found more than they bargained for. The black goo they discovered was no mere artifact. It was a weapon of unimaginable horror. The first film ends with Shaw and David venturing to find the engineers' homeworld to uncover their true intentions. 11 years later, year 2104, the Covenant colony ship made its fateful detour. They found David again, now stranded on a seemingly peaceful planet. But the peace was a lie. David had become a mad scientist, perfecting the xenomorph design through his twisted experiments. I still shudder at the memory of the neomorphs, pale, monstrous creatures with eerie, human-like movement. When the Covenant left, David had stowed away xenomorph embryos, sealing the doom of its passengers. David takes control of the ship, bringing xenomorph embryos aboard and sealing the fates of its sleeping colonists. Humanity had no idea what was coming. Then came the Nostromo, in year 2122. Ripley's story was terrifying. A distress signal led the crew to LV-426, where they found a derelict ship and a chamber of eggs. When that facehugger latched onto Kane, it was only the beginning. The chestburster scene, where the alien erupted from Kane's body, is an all-time classic scene in cinema screen. The sleek, deadly, and biomechanical xenomorph erupted from King's body, hunted them down one by one. The crew is killed, leaving Ripley as the sole survivor. She fought back, ejecting the creature into space. That was the beginning of her legendary battle against these monsters. 57 years later, in 2179, Ripley returned to LV-426, this time with colonial marines. The terraforming colony had fallen silent, and when they arrived, it was nothing but chaos. Until these days, I can still hear Hudson yelling as the xenomorphs swarmed. And then there was the Queen. That power loader battle was such an iconic scene. Ripley took on a hive and lived to tell the tale, saving Newt, the little girl who reminded her of everything worth fighting for. And together they destroy the hive, narrowly escaping before the colony is obliterated. But the fight wasn't over. After their escape, Ripley crash-landed on Fiorina 161, a prison planet. That place was a nightmare. She discovered that a xenomorph was aboard her escape pod, and even worse, she was carrying a xenomorph queen embryo. The prisoners there must unite to survive as the alien hunts them. Ripley decided to throw herself into molten lead to destroy the creature and prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. It was tragic and heroic, all at once. And just when you think the story is over, 200 years later, Ripley returned, only that this time she was a clone to herself. In Alien Resurrection, year 2381, scientists had brought Ripley back, hoping to exploit the xenomorphs. But she wasn't the same anymore. She was part alien now, with acidic blood and heightened senses. The process gives her xenomorph-like traits. In the lab, the Queen is used to create a hybrid creature, the newborn. Surprisingly, the newborn turns against its creators. Ripley and a team of mercenaries eventually destroy the lab and crash the ship into Earth. Her future remains uncertain at this point. The film ends on Earth, but even then it didn't feel like a homecoming. The xenomorph threat still loomed. So that's the entire Alien story. Now let's talk about the Easter eggs. Does this sound familiar to you?
In the pipe, 5x5.
In the pipe, 5x5.
Do you know that these Starcraft game soundtracks actually all pay tribute to the Alien 1986 scene? Now, hear this.
We're in the pipe, 5x5.
Alien is just such an iconic movie. Now, let's talk about David, our favorite creepy android. Remember when he quotes,
"Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair."
That's from Shelley's Ozymandias. It is a poetry about the fall of empires. It's chilling because David's saying, yeah, I'm a creator now, and nothing good's going to come of it. It adds such a sinister layer to his already unhinged personality. Did you catch that on your first watch? Jumping over to Aliens, here's a fun one. Hudson's famous line.
Game over, man. It's game over.
This wasn't even in the script. Bill Paxton improvised it on the spot, and now it's a meme. That just shows you how Aliens wasn't just a sequel, it was a cultural phenomenon. And finally, Resurrection. Remember the basketball scene where Ripley lands that insane over-the-shoulder shot? No CGI, no camera tricks. That was all Sigourney Weaver. She nailed it on the first take. Even the cast and crew were stunned. The director wanted to cut before the ball dropped, but Weaver insisted it would land, and it did. Amazing Ripley-level precision. So, do you enjoy this movie review? Which Easter egg surprised you the most? Or maybe you've discovered some of your own to share. Please drop it in the comments. I would love to know what else we might have missed in this epic franchise. If you like this video, please help to click like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to my channel. Thank you.